Hey kids, Mark Miller here. Welcome. I've got like everything kind of shut down here. It looks like the CodeRush overlay is working, but it's not yet. I want to just make some changes to the code and behind everything and kind of rebuild before I did that. Here's where we were left off with the ability to call up the speech bubble. One of the things that I wanted to do is I wanted to change it so that the we could filter out profane words if that was something we wanted to do. I found over here a profanity detector, and I kind of like the ability for just to call censor string on it, right, like that, and it would come back and return a result. So I'm gonna attempt to incorporate that right now into our Mr. Announcer bot, which is responsible for taking the speech bubble commands that come in to the chat room. So let's give that a shot right now. That looks like the one we were looking at. Let's install it. Okay, profanity detector appears to be installed. Let's go back over to Mr. Announcer bot. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Profanity filter. Here's the phrase, and then I should be able to just say filter on it. No. What was the code over here? I thought it was like an extension method that it was using. Nope, create a new profanity filter. That's what I want to do. Okay. It's lonely here. Hold on a second. I'll get you out of here. New profanity filter. What's my problem here? Did I use the wrong one? Is a namespace but used like a type? I thought I was using it up here at the top. Do I need to do that twice? No. I wonder why that's not working. All right. I'm flexible. All right. Censor string. The phrase. And then we're going to pop that one out like that. Okay, with that, I'm going to build. Did it finish? Build succeeded. Okay, let's start it up. Starting up Mr. Announcer bot. Starting up the overlay manager. Starting up the Dungeon Master application. Let's bring everything back in again. Okay, and let's refresh the data. All right, let's get some CodeRush music going. Cool. Surly's here. All right, so now here's how you say it. If you want to say it, you can choose between, according to the code I wrote, you can choose between saying Fred, and you can say hello, like that. Why didn't that work? I think I should restart this and say a breakpoint, because to be fair, I just wrote this thinking it would all work. Let's do that. We'll run it instead of shut this down. Shut down that. Shut down this. And let's run. Let's set thread. Because I needed quotes on it, I thought I took out the need for quotes. There we go, I'm at a breakpoint. Let's see what we got. This level's good. There's the message. There's the colon position. The name. Ah, that's my problem. Needs to be substring 1. And I think I want to do, just in case, a trim right here. So I think does this. Are we doing anything that says starts with Mark says or thinks? Which is that. Okay. All right. I think that's my problem. Let's come back up here. Colon position -1. Is this my length? Is that what that is? That's my length, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so I got to go back and subtract 1 from it, back over here. There we go. Player ID is 4. And I still didn't see anything pop up, but I think I got further. Let's try one more time. Okay, there's my phrase. There's my filter. Censored phrase is hello. Now we're going to say it. Quoted phrase. Oops. Phrase. No, I just want phrase. I always thought Fred was the strong silent type. I'm going to do that. Take out any quotes around the edge and then trim it one more time, but still we should see it.
Surly Dad is in the house.
All right, just in case, let's do this as well. Neither of those are showing up, it seems. Let me, do I have control over Fred's hands? I do not. Missing closing. Yeah, it's I took out the need to have the closing on there. Thanks for that. It's not that, I think. Let me do a refresh over here on these one more time. That refresh is taking a while. I wonder if it's because it has anything to do with the way with debugging. To have him say for something, I took out the need for quotes. So it's just going to be a colon and then whatever you want him to say. Oh, Surly. Look at this. That kind of looks locked up to me right there. Not refreshing. Not getting rid of those bars. That's a little bit unusual. All right, I'm going to try disconnecting from here. It kind of is feeling like everything is locked up a little bit in some weird way. Just really slow to respond. All right, I'm going to shut everything down and restart it one more time. There we go. Interesting. So yeah, it seems to be related to the connection. Once I disconnected from my debugger, this just refreshed immediately. Let's go back up, do the same for the dice layer. Dice layer is refreshed. And let's do the same for the back overlay. Okay, next, let's restart these pieces here. Let me do one more. Yeah, let's stop debugging. Hold on. Actually, let's close it down in a way that makes a little more sense. All right, now let's rebuild it one more time, because edit and continue changes don't get into the exe. So if I just stop after edit and continue and try to run the exe directly, that will not work. Okay, here we go. Starting up Mr. Announcer Bot. Starting up the overlay manager. Got an error. That's not good. Let me kill this. As I recall, the way to fix that is to shut down Visual Studio and restart. And I'm also going to, just in case, going to kill every instance of Chrome. All right, let's try one more time. Okay, starting up Mr. Announcer Bot. Starting up, yep. That's working without error now. Okay. And then start up the Dungeon Master app. Oh, it looks like I don't need to... Okay. Now, let's see. Let's refresh the data. Looks like I need to refresh the overlays one more time. 1, 2, 3. And let's refresh the drone game too, since we're back up. All right. Now, let's test that out. That's working. I'm gonna launch a drone. I can launch a drone. That's good. And refresh the data. That looks good. Now, back over here in the chat room. Okay. So, Fred, if you want Fred to think, you do that. If you want Mark to think, you do that. And if you want Mark to say something, you put it in quotes. And you just need the starting quote, like that. You can put an ending quote and it'll get rid of it. Quotes in the middle should survive. So I should be able to do something like this. Well, you can do your own closing parens there, Rory. How you doing, Rory? At last, that took him too long. It didn't take him too long. Come on, Fred. Let's, what about the music? There we go, music's coming in. Surely wouldn't have taken this long, that's true. I'm gonna, this is what I say. I say, that's true. I'm sure Surly wouldn't have taken that long. Neither would have Rory. Yeah, okay. Okay, what do I want to do next? So we've got, now I haven't tested this. I think I'm going to test this right now. I'm going to say, Fred, they both taken much longer. Okay. Bad word I know is, and let's see if it works. Perfect. Okay. Cool. Profanity detector replacer, profanity filter works. Not too hard, just basically NuGet plus this. Right? That's all it was. I have a second place where these messages are kicking in. I'm not sure I want to do that there yet, but I kind of want to do it based on time of day, I think. A profanity filter is better than Twitch's. Oh, okay. Can we test a profanity filter in the interests of science? Asked Surly Dev. Yeah, I think you can. If you want to do that. Let's see. I had some issues. Let's see what I can do here. Yeah, I think I want to do profanity filter based on time of day. I'm going to do that next. I'm going to do that over in the Dungeon Master app. Over here, we have somewhere in here is player. So this authorizes the player to say something. Character says something. There's the message coming in. And now what I want to do is the message. I want to do a profanity filter on the message. Like that. So I kind of want to do, I think I want to stop the app. It's not running. Okay, cool. Let's drop a marker here. Let's come over here, right click, manage NuGet packages. Let's do the same thing. Profanity filter. There it is. Install. Says ready, but it kind of looks like it's moving over here. You can see that, but I'm zooming that way in. Bring that up there. There's what I'm looking at in the bottom left. It says it's ready. All right, let's see if it's ready. All right, I want to say new profanity filter dot profanity filter and create a new instance for that. And then I want to say profanity filter dot censor string, pass in message, and set message equal to that. Then I want to do a time of day check. So if DTN dot what do I have an hours in here? Hour component of the day. So if the hour is less than say 16, then I want to get into this space right here. Is what I want to do. Let's just set a breakpoint there. Make sure we're getting that. And let's take the existing app that I've just started from the command line, close it down, and let's start it up and test it. Yeah, you won't be able to make Willie talk. You can't do that through this command here, Rory. You can't do that. So there's kind of controls on who you can make talk. Right now, you can only make Fred or Mark talk on using the CodeRush string. Okay, we're here and up. Let's so I'm hitting command. Looks like I may need to refresh the overlays. Let's see if that's right. Do I get any hand control from Fred? Nope, looks like I need to refresh them. Back overlay. Refresh. Huh. What's going on? Oh, okay. I'm here. All right. Cool. All right. Good. All right. So there, it looks like that might work. Idiots look like it didn't fit, but you know what? That's the first one that comes in, so it's still loading the font. What happens if I do this? Nice. Okay. That works. Surly says, I have two-factor authorization enabled on GitHub, and I'm trying to push a repo for my Linux laptop, but it's not letting me authenticate properly. It keeps saying authentication failed. Any ideas? I have no ideas on that. Rory, you got any ideas on that? Okay. Good. Profundity filter done. Next, I saw there's a couple minor issues with this. One is when little cutie says things, it's too far left. It should be over here, but this piece right here should be much closer to where her brain is, and it's not. It's too far over off to the left. If you compare that with when I say like the equivalent blah, 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 right? It's like if here's the center, if I'm centered over the name, it's right over there. It's not bad. It's a not bad position. So Qt's got to move over to the side. There's something to do with flipping there. So let's go over and look at that code for little Qt. Got this flipped right here. Scaled offset. Scaled position X offset. Let's start X. Place horizontal scale. Yeah, let's see if we can do a few of these out here for little Cutie and see what these kind of look like. So distance away, is it always about the same distance? Oops, no clue's got the button for no clue. That should be Cutie. Okay. Nope. Just, yeah, they look like, yeah. Yeah, they're all the same. I just want to move them over about 60. Is what I think I want to do. I'm going to just, I think I'm going to do the flipped offset is what I'm going to do. I'm going to create a flipped offset here. Wait, actually, hold on a second. What's going on with this guy? That's text only. Okay, yeah, I definitely want to do what I was doing there. I think I want to create a new template. That's how you do it. Pudding. Took out the need for quotes, and you just use my name when we're here on this show to make that work. And you can use Fred as well. Those are the two names you can use. So you can use Fred. You don't need uppercase. You can do lowercase. Yeah. If you put an open paren at the beginning, it'll do that instead. You don't need the one at the end. Yep. Exactly, Pudding. That's how you do it. Okay, so let's see here. ln creates a new, it does declare, it calls declare a variable with the keyword being let. And what I want to do, well, I want to create something. I just want to create a new template, I think. This one's going to be called L0. Like that. So it's going to use the let, and it's going to declare variable. What's going on there? Parameter router. So I think what I want to do is I want to say set type, and I want to set type equal to none, like this, just this sequence of text that could never be a legal type. I also want to set the initial value to 0. And I'll still call it declare variable with the keyword is equal to let. I'm gonna mark this as a code rush issue just because I want the devs to watch this. Okay, so I'm creating a new template called L0. I've made these changes to it so far. Set type to none, set initial value to 0. Okay, that's what I'm doing. Declare variable, keyword let. My hope is to be able to route it, continue route it through the declare variable template, check to see if an initial value has been set. If it's not, empty. And if it has, then initialize it. And if type is none, don't put any type declaration out, because in JavaScript, I want to be able to type in L0 and just say let variable name equal 0. Do I have a digit? I think I've got a digit. Template name variable. Numbers. It's called a num. Okay, so we'll do that. Back to templates over here. It's going to be a num. I'm going to say num, like that. Okay, so then my initial value is going to be, we're going to call get on num. That's get, like that. So we'll set initial value to whatever the num is. Declare variable. Keyword is equal to let. Okay, let's jump into declare variable. So where are we? Declare variable is here. And it says, hey, if looks like we're in a parameter with this regular expression down here, then go to the parameter router. So here, parameter router has got two different options. One checks to see if the left text matches, has some sort of letter next to it, in which case we're going to trim any extra white space there and then put our comma. And then we're going to go create a field for the variable name and a field. We're going to say put the type in here. And this one does not. The ends of these two appear to be the same though. This appears to be the same as this. They are the same. Okay, because they're the same, what I really want to do is throw this into a new template right here. So let's copy that for now. Let's create a new system template here. And we're going to call this declare parameter. Like that. We're going to paste that in there. Here's declare parameter. We copy that to the clipboard. Let's come back over to where we were, parameter router. Right here, we're going to insert an alias to that, I think, right? There we go. Okay, by the way, devs, when I just did that, look at what I had to do. Insert alias, I pasted. I should just be able to hit enter, but notice OK is not selected. Also, if this matches, I really feel like it should open it up and select it if it's a full match, right? So I can just come right in there and hit enter. Okay, so now I'm going to go to declare parameter. So this is also makes this easier to read now. So if the left text matches, it's got some text there, we're going to add a comma. Otherwise, we're going to not add a comma at all. This one, the same deal. I want to come in here and say insert alias, declare parameter, got to open it all up. At least pull down the alt. Looks like no, I can't really do that. Open them all up. Okay, so we're either going to put a comma before it and declare the parameter, or we're going to just straight out declare it. Now, in declaration, here's where I want to add some smart code here. So I want to get rid of this if we have a simple initialization, is what I want to do. Let's go back to where we called this from. Okay, declare variable. Here we go. I think I want to call this simple initial value, meaning it can be easily inferred. That's what I want to do. Okay. Then here, I want to create an alternate expansion for this. That's what I want to do. Let's move that up a little bit so we can see that. All right, so now 2 expansions for it. And I want to add some context for it. So I think here I want to say if variable matches, here's the problem. I'm not sure if we can support this yet or not. We'll find out. If variable matches, and as I recall, there's 2 different parameters here. First is the variable, and the second one is the value. Let's double check that, actually. Let's see if we can find some CodeRush documentation on this. Yeah, variable value. I saw it in the link here. So I think if I pass in, I don't know, if I'm guessing that 2 quotes, and then I'm going to say a not, and I don't know if I put it here or there. I think I'm going to put it there. So if it's not empty, then we're going to set this. Simple initial value. Otherwise, I'm hoping this is going to work. Instead of saying equal to field, I'm going to say it's going to be equal to simple initial value. So my hope is that context check above will work. Let's see what happens. So we'll just try that right now. So we want to have an L0 here. Okay, that looks like that worked. And if I type in LB, that did not work though. Okay, so the context is grabbing. Okay, let's see here. The problem is this is kind of, I wonder if I leave this empty, so it's not a string. What if I leave that empty? Will it work? Coders, will you work? I'm looking for LB here to expand correctly. It's not working. So So what I need, it looks like what I need, devs, and I know this is like a long time, so the devs are like, probably like, why am I watching this for so long, Mark? Could you make this shorter for me? What I need is a way to see if the variable's been specified. Variable exists, I think. Right, I want to see if the variable exists. Do we have anything like that? Variable defined. Yeah, I could do this. That might work. So if variable matches, I could basically say doesn't match this, you know. But it's kind of, then I could only use 0, but 0 is the one I use almost all the time. So if I came in here and typed in LB now, still not working. Does L0 work? L0 works as I want, but LB, to create a Boolean, does not. Why is that failing? That context is curious to me. Uh-oh. Shoot. Just lost the CodeRush options dialog. This has happened before on this machine. When I'm using the Windows key, when I bring it up, it brings it up on the wrong place. Yeah, I'm clicking, can't find it. I think my workaround to this is to take my display settings and try moving them a bit. See if that works. Apply that. And I just lost my main monitor. Oh, there we go, got it back again on the stream. I don't see it still. I'm holding down the Windows key and moving left and right arrows to try to move it from monitor to monitor. That's not working. I'm going to hit the escape key, drop it down, try to bring it up again. Okay, it's here. All right, so let's go back in again here. L0. So if the variable matches this 0, so that didn't work. I wonder if I have to put this in quotes like that. And I guess I got to do this to make this work only with 0, though. It'll only work with 0. Let's see if this works. LB, that works the way I want it to. Now let's try L0. Okay, not, well, no, it's still doing the same one. How might I not be able to match that? I guess I'm having problems matching the variable. Doing examples of this. There's another way around this. Any other matches? Language matches, variable, left text, right text. Yeah, variable matches doesn't seem to be working here. I think I'm going to leave it right here and let the devs take a look at it. Simple initial value should be 0 by this time. I think we can even come in here. We can say, we can do a get. Well, we actually showed it down here before when we were expanding. We were able to get that field and bring it out. Weren't we, or no? Simple initial value came back empty, is that right? with this set, I should be able to come down here and do a get on simple initial value. Like that. Yeah, there's simple initial value right there. All right. Yeah, so my variable matches. I think that should work right there without quotes. I don't know, I think both should work. Simple initial value should come back and match to 0 since it is in fact 0. We can try this right here. Simple initial value is 0. Let's do this just to be absolutely clear. Okay. And I don't think we're going to see any difference over here. Declare parameter. Let's do this too. Let's rename this. Just get that on the clipboard so the next time I need to come in here, I can come in there and paste it there to find it faster. Same thing, I think. Still not 0. So I don't know how it's matching on that. It doesn't seem to be working the way I'm expecting it to work. Can I search for in the context for variable matches? I'm not sure if find text will work in the context. Yeah, it's not finding it. Yeah, auto implemented true. We do this. This is another way of setting the variable. Let's try this instead, back over here. Let's try this instead. See if we have better luck here. There might be something with the way the engine is calling these sets and when it's calling them and when it's setting these up. So this might work better. Let's see. 0. Yeah, it didn't let me even get it. Okay, I'm going to end it there. I'm going to send this off to the devs. We'll let the devs figure out what's going on here. Difficulty using variable matches context in English template. Let's push this over there. Data 2 attitudes up there. Hey, welcome. How are you doing? We are, I was just working on a CodeRush template here to try to make my life a little easier, and had some challenges getting that to work the way I wanted it to work. Rory's calling in. Hey,
hello.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm good, my friend. How are you?
I'm okay. I was just going through some templates. I don't know if you saw that, trying to create a template.
I saw a little bit of that.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why that's not working either.
I had some difficulty with that. I wanted to kind of undo the work I was doing. We'll see what the devs think about this. Let me just jump in here, go to the parameter router. This part was all good. I like this change that I made. That cleaned that up. Declare parameter. Yeah, this is a mess here. So declare parameter. I'm going to remove this second one right here, so it's only going to have one expansion, and that expansion is just going to look like this for now. Hopefully, we'll be able to fix that because I want to be able to. Use L0 to get a very quick initialization that looks like that, instead of putting a type there.
Indeed.
That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Where was I? I was in the middle of working with flipped offset here. Because now manually I got to do this, and I don't want the manual stuff here. I use cycle complexity that is displayed in VS Code for my functions. Cyclomatic complexity. Okay, that's cool. All right, so there's my flipped offset. Then when I get to my X position, where am I going to put it? I'm going to add that flipped offset X as well. Usually try to hit under 10. Well, I'm sure I'm way over 10 here. Yeah, when I'm creating new technology, I tend to let the method get big until I get it right. Then I refactor. That's what I tend to do. Yeah, you're over.
Yeah, I think whilst you're actually building it, there's this tendency to have rearranging of things happening in different orders and so forth. So when it settles down a little bit, then you can sort of dig into it with some extraction of methods and what have you, and make it a little easier. Yeah. But you're right, in that moment of building it, it needs to stay a little bit fluid under this sort of circumstance.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so let's test that. We're going to do a refresh. I'm just trying to get little cuties stuff just a little bit more to the left. Data 2 attitude says that was a good one. Let's see if we can do this. That's in the front overlay. Do a refresh of the front overlay. Go refresh the data, and that looks better. So that's going to be lined up right where her head is. Her head's going to show up right here, and there we go. That's not bad. I did not, by the way, so I wanted this to work really fast yesterday. I wanted to use it on the show last night.
Yep.
And so I did not have time to implement the queue. I was going to do the queue today. But you know what I did? I did have time to write some code that just quickly went out, check to see, do I already have one up? And if I do, take it, just make it disappear so only one is showing up
Fair enough.
at a time. And you know what? It's not bad.
The effect is not bad at all, no.
Right, in terms of amount of time and code written versus the effect, I'm going to be okay with it. Because the other alternative is a queue, and if we get too many of these coming in, we're going to
be going on for quite some time after the moment's passed, really.
Yeah. So anyway, I think positioning is much better. I wanted to just run through these and see how these are. So that one's a little, the end there is a little close to the left edge. That's really close there. That's not bad. What's weird is the N, the code should be pretty much the same. Well,
one extra character.
Yeah, different lengths.
So no with an extra exclamation mark might look the same as the yes.
Yeah. I've got, by the way, I don't know if you saw me do this, but I think you may have watched, but I got profanity filtering in there.
That's good.
So that's
I noticed that, and I said at the time, it's more effective than the Twitch one. So you can actually type your profanity in and get it through the Twitch chat. Right. In some cases, anyway, and we'll still get it screened out by the on-screen stuff.
Right.
So there you go.
Dota Attitude is asking, hey, should the location of the thought bubble be to the left more? What's what we're talking about? This is for Little Cutie's character. My thought bubbles are showing up here. Maybe mine should be to the left a little more, too. It's not too bad, but it's also kind of like, it gives me opportunity to move around a little bit. You know.
It's been a while since I've seen the other shows, so Little Cutie is... See, to scale, if you were to put you in the same position, you're going to be quite a lot broader than you've given her speech room to be, aren't you?
Her head is about here. This is where her head sits.
Oh, I see. No, it's just because you're naturally leaning forward on this show. That's what it is. Now that you're back there, that actually isn't bad, is it?
Yeah. So that's kind of where she is that. Okay.
Fair enough.
You think her bubble should be far right then? Well, the problem is we run out of space over there. That's the problem. So it's not bad. There's a little extra space here for this one. The top and bottom space seems too high. For that one. I think I want to tweak it a little bit.
You're just a little bit of graphics away from a RoboCutie.
A RoboCutie, that's funny. I'm going to change this one right here to 1.2, the vertical margin buffer. I'm going to just drop that down a little bit. Let's go ahead and do that. And refresh the front overlay. There it is. And I want to get hold on, I'm using a Stream Deck here to do all these. Whoops, I got some profane words up there. Let's move that up a little bit. But what I want to do is I want to get a refresh button on my Stream Deck here. I'm going to do, let me paste it in right here so you can see what I'm talking about. I'm just doing that there. So when I hit that button, it'll refresh. So that allows me to refresh the overlay, hit this button right here. That refreshes the data so it's ready to go. All right, so let's go back and check that now with, we have 3 rules. And how does that look? Oops, let's see it again. It's a little better. That one's not bad. It's a little tighter. These are all a little tighter. It's kind of weird. This one too.
To be honest, it's only the yes and the no that I think are in any way out of line there. Possibly the 3 rules in the thought bubble.
It just feels a little bit like that. Also, we had some problems with Zephyrs. Zephyrs has, let's see what we got. Not too bad. Battle. That's good. That's not bad. It's not bad, not bad, not bad. In general, okay, this one here, little too high right there. There's that no again. Yeah, that no is pretty consistently there. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm going to say I think they're okay. They're not bad. The no is the one I'm a little bit like, come on. Why is that so far over? I could just bump it just the smallest amount. I could just move all the text by the smallest amount to the side. I could also do a check to see if it's very few characters, like it's 2 characters. It's this position right here. So there's a difference between a no in one of these and a no that's in one of those bubbles. Now that one looks good.
Yeah.
Was my no on mine? Was it mine? That one's fine. Was it little cuties?
Hang on,
It's little cuties backwards. It's the backwards no. Okay, so if we're flipped, I want to move the text if I just move the text to the right a bit, let's see what happens if we're flipped. Is that true on all of these? Yeah, on all of them. If we're flipped, I want to move the text a little bit more to the right. Just by a bit. That's what I want to do. That's going to be unnoticeable, the change. So the flipped offset, flipped horizontal text offset, this is what we're doing here. We're saying that's, are we adding this? Yeah, we're adding it. So this is moving it left. We're saying the word render font size divided by 4. This is why the no is moving so far off to the left. I think, because the font size is huge.
Yeah.
So I could reduce this. I could cut this in half. Like, try that. Let's see what that does. Refresh. Refresh. Let's try it. Okay. That's better. That's better. That's better. Zephyrs my favorite look a little bit to the right. To the right. A little bit too much. That one looks centered. That looks good. I'm going to go with this, because this is a pretty good look on most of these. There's a little...
It's not bad, yeah.
Yeah.
I think you have to be looking awfully closely now to see any kind of a...
Yeah, the essence of it is...
I know you have the big attention to detail, but I reckon a lot of viewers are not going to spot the tiny degree of off that this might be considered to be.
Yeah, I'm going to switch it down to a 6 now, is what I'm going to do. And maybe this is the wrong metric here. I was kind of saying, well, based on how tall, this is how tall the font is, but maybe I really need to take a look at the width of the text, figure out how many characters on that line. Yeah, no, the width of the character, no. I'm going to switch it to 6. So I'm going to reduce it a little bit, because I'm just seeing a little bit of issues here. Let's try again. What do we got? That's not bad. That's pretty good. This one should be closer, but still, it's readable. I'm okay with that. That one's a little bit to the right, but not as bad as we were looking at before, I think. A little bit to the right. This feels okay. I think we're not bad. I think it's not bad. Okay, let's go look at Zephyrs. That one looks too low. But it's not bad, right? It's like we're... I think the reason I say it's not bad is because I think you look at it and you're like, okay, I get the essence of it. Technical difficulties looks a little wide to me. But it's still not too bad. Look, as long as the text is fitting and yeah.
See, the thing about Zephyr's one is that it bumps into the top of the whole screen, which means you can't move it higher, which means it inherently goes lower if you don't go wider.
Yeah.
So that anchor is completely inconsistent based on quantity of text.
Yep. I totally agree with that. Hold on a second. Let me just fix that. No clue. Make sure it's popping up in the right spot. Okay. Yeah, no, you're right. So like theirs, for example. Yeah, there's some problems there, right? In order to make that whole thing fit. Now, I could do this. I could make the bubble pieces, the 2 tiny bubble pieces that come up, independent of the big one. right? So I'm only scaling the big one, and then the other ones are still kind of there, because what happens is when we scale like this, the whole thing really scales wide. The other thing we can do is we can say, well, look, if we're flipped and up high, we can use a smaller font, right? I can do something like that.
Yeah. Where does Zephyr physically appear? Is he around about where that is at the moment? Because if he were higher up, for example, you could have the speech bubble come down from him rather than up above him.
Yeah, no, I was thinking that too. That we flip it down. Yeah, he's right here.
You just have an inversion of that same logic then.
Let's do that. Yeah, I think you're right. Let's do that. We'll flip it. He's up in this space.
So you've got to flip Y now as well as the existing flip X.
Yeah, I do. We have this check at the front right here, which is, hey, if we're the Dungeon Master, right here, player ID, Dungeon Master. Let's do this. No, constant. Got this reserved right here. And then if player is Dungeon Master, then we want to flip. I think we only want to flip if the height of this thing gets to here. This is where I think we want to flip. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm getting a delta and I'm moving these two down is what I'm doing. But now what I think I want to do, I want to say is, hey, if player is Dungeon Master, then we're going to do one thing. Otherwise, you know what? We'll go ahead just in case. Nobody else has ever had so much text that they go up there. So if the player is the Dungeon Master, I want to say flip vertically is equal to true. Like that. And I want to declare flip vertically here. Like that. Set it equal to false. And oops, I went vertically here. Okay, so at this point, we're not changing X and Y. We're not changing any positions of anything. And I think everything's going to look wrong, is what I think. But let's at least see that we're flipping vertically in that scenario. That didn't flip.
No.
That one did.
That did. It's empty, but that's what you said before. Nothing else is being drawn in the right place yet, so it is fine.
I feel like the Zephyr's, that speaking position is a little off right there. I think it needs to be more to the left. I feel like Zephyr's head I gotta do something. I gotta insert that over here. Hold on. Give me a second, really. I think you know what I'm gonna do. All right, let's open up our speech bubble spec.
The ultimate spec program.
So I think Zephyr is like right about there. Maybe a little higher. He's right about there, maybe. Okay, so let's look at these again. Yeah, it's. I think I lowered the talking position, connecting position. Is what I think I've done, and we need to kind of lift and raise that up. So let's work on that. Up here, Dungeon Master X, Dungeon Master Y. I'm going to change that to 350. Okay, refresh.
Have you got a
Better.
a simple image or something you can throw out as a fake Zephyr overlay?
Oh yeah, you didn't like my just
It's
scrolling it up.
It's very good. No, it genuinely is. But you've got to now reposition every time you want to check it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, so I think that's better.
That is
There.
better. Yeah.
There, there. Maybe a little bit to the left. What do the thought bubbles look like? Thought bubbles are way off. Why are the thought bubbles off so far? We're raising them up because they want them to come out of the top of his head. I see. Okay. So, all right. So let's look at. Wait, I'm going to do this. This is a cool coders feature. I'm going to drop a marker right here. It's going to return to restore my position when I pick it up. What about using a screenshot of a VOD with them in it? Yeah, I can do that too. Say Mr. Smoopy is here. Or yay, Mr. Smoopy is here. All right, back up here. There's the Dungeon Master X. I want to move this off. I want to make it about 1700 is what I want to do. Let's just look at that positioning of that. Right there, Zephyr. What you got for me? Yes. Let's pick up my marker. Here's my marker right there. Yeah. Okay, that's good. I think those are all pretty good.
That's not bad at all, is it? It's nice and clear. It's positionally correct. It's not interfering with, wherever Zephyr puts his head and how he might. It's not coming out of his forehead or anything like that.
Now this we've got to change. If we're going to flip this upside down, and we're one of these, we got to move this thing down a bit. These don't seem to be kind of nailing the same exact position. They're close. That one I don't like because I stretch it way out. Big, it's not so good. I want to move it down. What's that? About 200, I think is what I want to do. So if we're the Dungeon Master, we're going to flip vertically. I want to take. And if we are if we're a speech bubble, so if we're thinking, then I want to say yeah, I'm going to do this. Inverted speech bubble. You know what I'm going to do? Let's do this. I want to mark a code rush issue here. Kids, look at what just happened. I was like, I think it's because I got this image on screen. I was like up here, I think, and I expanded a template. I did like LN like this, and it scrolled down. I'm not exactly sure what happened or why it did that. I'm not exactly sure where I was to do this. Can I duplicate this at all? Look back about 30 seconds before I started. And it was just like, there it is. What's that? Okay, that's a bug. Don't let that happen. I don't know why that did it, what was going on there, but it just jumped me from here down to here. Let me report that. Same thing, wait, just happened there, it looks like. Comment. What? Is it because it's far off screen? See what's going on. I just got an image in the code here. Comment. Yeah, there's definitely something wrong there. So let's do issue. Yeah, unexpected view shifts. with image on screen. Yeah, look at it at right. All right, let's put that in there. We're dogfooding Code Rush every day here on the show.
Mm-hmm.
The bottom of his image is the 9th coin from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So it's about right there. About right there. That's about where he is. Right there. Okay. Let's see. Okay, inverted speech bubble offset. I'm getting in the habit here of creating well-named variables for each little adjustment we're making, so it's clear why we're making each little adjustment. And so now, if this is the case, we're going to say this is equal to about, I think I said 200 is what I said right there. Let's format that. So now with the inverted speech bubble offset, we're going to find, do we have X position already?
Mark!
Yeah, what you got? Zephyr's leftmost ear from the last video I just opened is 5 coins down from the top of the screen and 5 coins in. Leftmost ear, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's about right where I've got it, it looks like. Right about there. So I need to move these down. Pudding says, wait, is ever that blue placeholder? I have to say, this is the best looking piece pen since the other show started. This is all open source, right?
Ouch.
I'm fairly certain I looked at it and considered forking. Yeah, I assume the assets are what make it look so cool. Yeah. So yeah, these are all assets I'm getting. You can get the same assets and, or at least some of them, and modify them out at elements.envato.com. That's what I'm using. Right here, I have a subscription to them, and they say switch to annual every time. I'm paying month by month. I should probably switch to annual because I'm using them all the time. But I just come in here, look at this, free. I just come in here and say, search for something like snow, and find some snow. And I've actually used this to create the weather effects as well. Which are mainly on the other show. But here we go against a dark background. They look a little bit better. But here's light snow, for example, or heavy snow. You can go in there, or light fog. And I was thinking, oh, this would be cool for somebody to be able in the chat room to say, here's where they were, and we check the weather where they are, and then we would then do some combination of rain and snow, or rain and fog, or whatever it is, heavy rain, thunder showers, that. So we kind of get a sense of where you are. But all of these are used using code plus OBS plus assets from, clear those drizzles. Maybe you do a little light drizzle. How's it the weather over there, Rory?
Dark. It's pitch black outside. It's not raining though, so that's something.
Rory, I just want to say, you're like the best.
Yeah.
Right? You know that, right? All right, inverted speech bubble offset is here. Looks like I need to take this, move this up. The X position, the Y position. So we need, we're going to need to, I'm going to make this a constant instead. And then I'm going to come in here and I'm going to kind of do the same thing here because I need to modify both of these. So I'm going to say this plus equals my inverted speech bubble offset, and this plus equals inverted speech bubble offset. Kids, look who's here! Set a breakpoint there, Cody Gorilla. You'll thank me later. The dank monkey is here. Need some thunder and lightning to go with the rain. The lightning, I think I can make the lightning work. Ah! What the? You like monkeys? I like not being on fire. Okay. Yeah. Was that too loud? No, I'm not dead. I'm still here. I'm just smoking a little bit. There we go. Okay, so let's try that. Let's do a refresh. Let's get back over here and come in here. Okay, the thought bubbles. Better. That's what we wanted. The thought bubbles to be down there. Okay?
Yep.
And he's, hold on. He's down about there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Somewhere in that space right there. I almost think we could, yeah, when we invert, we got to move it down too. Is what I think we got to do. All right, so let's do this. We're going to take this, move this, make it 250, I think. We're going to also, I'm going to create one for the X. And we're going to move that over 50. I'm going to say. Like that. Just switch these around. X position looks like it must be a constant. Like that. All right, let's refresh that. Yeah, I know. We're working on that, Smoothie. Thanks so much. Working on it. Yeah, I think somebody noticed it. All right, let's go get this. The head in the same position. It's kind of right about in that space right there. Okay, that. The head position is right. That looks better. I actually think this could go not so far down and a little bit more to the right. So maybe make this 220 and make that 70. Like that. Let's see if that works. Refresh. Refresh. The big ones are good. Smaller ones are not. So the scale, that is, so for the smaller ones, I want to move less. I think I want to move it, multiply it by my vertical scale, is what I think I want to do.
Okay.
Let's try that. So we're going to add that times the vertical scale. We're going to change this to about 100 maybe instead. Let's see how that works. Refresh the cache. Refresh up there. How we doing? I'm just going to bring it down a little bit more. Yeah, we just got to bring it down a little bit more. Maybe about 120.
It's quite consistent, isn't it? It's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Just, as you say, move all of them down a bit, and that's not. Yeah.
Just kind of figuring our way through this. There we go. That looks like it's coming from his brain. Looks like it's kind of coming from his brain. I think we could buy that. Let's move down a little bit more. 125. Refresh the current page. Refresh. All right. I think it can work. Okay. That looks like that can work. What about these speech bubbles? Good, good, good.
That's looking pretty good all in, yeah.
Now, the X position of this text is all looking like it's in the right place. The Y position of the text, the X position in both the bubbles and the others. Now we just got to figure out where to offset that text by, right there. We definitely don't want to know what he's thinking. Wait, that's to you. Fred, bubble first. Bubble first, then text. No one knows.
I missed the colon off of the command.
Saying right. What'd you say? Oh.
I missed the colon. It was supposed to be a Fred statement.
Yeah. You need the colon in there, and that's it. That's all you need. Use the colon, that'll work. Yeah, hold on a second. Got it?
Nice.
Wait, that should have been a thought. Oh, I did the wrong thing. There we go. All right. What's the next thing we're doing? What was I? What was it?
Text in bubble.
Text in bubble. We got to move the text down. So this is the Y position here is where we're going to do this. So this is this whole thing we need to kind of reverse a bit.
Without breaking anything that's already working.
Yes. I totally agree with that. I think scale position, offset, X and Y. Okay, that's based on its scaling. Vertical text offset, what's that? The font size, central, shift this down a bit since there are no descenders in the comic book font. Okay, cool. Vertical text offset for no descenders. Because no descenders, because we're all in uppercase. I know it's long, but I just want to understand what it is when I'm looking at it. Y position. What else do we have here? We have text start Y. What's text start Y? This is the offset.
Right, so this is the offset effectively from, I guess, the origin for the purposes of text. So this gives us our border inside the bubble before padding, I guess you'd say.
Yeah. So look at what we're doing here. Text start X is equal to this minus width. And I think what we want to do is something very similar to that for Y. And we want to do it, well, right here, I kind of feel like we want to do it here. So text start Y is equal to negative text start Y minus height. And then I think I want to recalculate the whole line again here. That's what I want to do.
Is that plus height? It's minus width because you wish to move it to the left and the origin of X is on the left of the screen. But when you're doing height, you're wishing to push it down and the origin of Y is at the top, so away from its natural inclination to go up.
I don't know. It's less effort for me to refresh and try it than to think. I think you're totally right, Rory, because I don't see any text at all. There's the wrong showing up there at the top.
Yeah. So we're going to add height instead of subtract it.
I think it's that.
I think so, yeah.
All right, let's see. Not getting us closer.
Didn't seem to move. As in, not move at all.
Kind of, yeah. I would say that. It did not seem to move. Okay, well, it wasn't as simple as that.
Are we overwriting it somewhere else? Thus sort of throwing away this calculation. Although there's not really a lot of room for that to happen, is there? No, that doesn't make any sense.
No. So this is the Y position where we're going to put that text, is what's going on here.
there any possibility we didn't refresh properly for that? I thought we did, to be honest, but...
Well, we could try it. No, I'm pretty sure we did.
Yeah,
Refresh
I thought we did.
there. Yeah. There's another way we can think of it. We can just calculate it right here. So what I want to do is I want to say this is, hold on. This is only if it's a thought bubble. Because we were inside this right up here.
Mm-hmm.
So we might not have been seeing anything. Let's throw this back to my initial assertion right here. And let's refresh.
There we go.
Good.
So what did you change? I know you reset height to be a negative again. What was it? You must have done something else as well.
I took it outside of this. Originally,
Okay.
I put the code inside of, hey, if we're thinking, because this is just a special adjustment we're making for when we're thinking, if we're upside down.
Yeah.
Okay, because the thought bubble was just not quite lining up. And then just by putting it out. So it's basically, this is just the reflection of what we had before, and then I'm recalculating, doing the same code right here. Now, the only thing I'm not liking is that I have this exact same expression twice. I kind of want to come in here and say, extract to a method in here. And it's got a lot of stuff in here, but we're going to say, I'm going to call this get speech data y, like that. And then I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to put it up above here, right here. So I know we got a lot of parameters, but still it's way better to have one method to do it than to have...
Well, now it means, of course, if we change the actual algorithm for any reason, we do it in one place, which is the innards of the method.
Yeah, let's do a quick refresh and verify that that is now working. What?
Huh?
It's too low. It's showing up too low. It's right up above my hand. I can see it on... here, I'll show you. It's hard to see with the dark background. What's happened?
Okay.
How did that refactoring... How did that refactoring kill us?
Was it not quite the same calculation?
Pretty sure it was. I refactored the one down here, so it should be the one that works. Here, let's go back, save it. I'm pretty sure it's the exact same one because I copied that line of code from up there. That's weird. Here's my undo. Refresh the cache. No? How did we break it? How was it working and then it stopped working?
Are they all broken? Are thoughts and so forth are just as bad?
Yeah. You see them showing up down there, too far down. Is it your plus height? I don't know. I'm like, did I not save and were you right and I was wrong? That would be sweet.
Well,
let's see if that works. Sorry, go ahead. What do you want to say?
If I was right and it needed to be plus height, then I'd expect it to be showing up higher up the screen. But then, I don't know, hang on. Where do we believe the Y origin is? Is Y at the bottom of the screen or the top?
It's at the top.
So...
that was it, Rory.
That's never right, is it?
Says it's right. You were right.
Okay.
I must not have saved. Your plus height was right. Okay? All right, back over here. Let's go back. Let's extract the method. We're going to call this, what is the variable name again? Speech data y. Get speech data Y. Like that. Copy that. Put it up here. Save it. Refresh. Thanks, Roy. I really appreciate your brain power right now.
I'm really not sure how that happened, but if it's working, it's working.
That's why Rory gets the big bucks. That's right. There we go. Nice. 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 All right. I'm happy with this.
It is good, isn't it?
Yeah. It is. It's if they're really tall, it's like I feel like the really tall thought bubbles are kind of not quite maybe lined up. It's not bad though. It's really, really, really not bad. I think, am I going to say it's done? Is the feature done? Is there anything else we need to do? Let's look at our spec.
Yes.
I'm not going to do the queue. I've decided no queue.
It's not necessary with the alternative implementation that you came up with.
Yeah, I think it's not necessary. I think I do need to throttle. I need some sort of throttling ability, is what I need. And so we'll figure that out maybe right now. Let me just join these two together. Rotate that like that. Let's change my shape fill to use semi-transparency as my big indicator that, that the Q is not needed. We're not doing that. We got centering done. We got anchoring done. That's good. Positioning is done. Commands. We've got that essentially done. We've changed this up a little bit. This is now going to be Fred, colon, spoken message goes here, or Mark, colon, thought goes here. All right. Like that.
Bad word filter also done.
What'd you say?
You got the bad word filter in there.
We do. You're right.
Although we don't have the timing aspect of that. That's just in place completely.
Yeah, we don't have that yet. You're right. CodeRush chat is ignored. Let's look at what we need to do that. That's going to be in over here in Mr. Announcer Bot.
So, are you planning to do that based on time of day of broadcast?
Yes.
Or channel? Because detection of which channel is going to be an interesting one.
No, it's going to be, well, I know what channel this is. So this is in, I've actually got it, I've got Kids Code Client and I guess the regular on chat command received. Interesting. What is client here? New Twitch client. Where do I connect it? Channel name. Well, that's any channel, right? Am I listening? Interesting. I'm not sure how it specifies. I guess I have to join the channel or something like that. So I think what I'm going to do is something like this. Say or think it is this entry point here. And I think I'm just going to come in and say, hey, if vtimenow.hour is greater than 16, then we're going to get out, which is 4 o'clock my time, right, in the afternoon. So this show's never gone longer than 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So this command can work till then, and then if it's after that time, then CodeRush commands won't work. So I'm going to, even though it's untested, I'm going to give it a tentative check. Right here.
Seems like a very, very reasonable quotient of belief in it working, because there's not a lot that can go wrong there.
Yeah. Also, for one of the things we talked about yesterday was amount of time it's on screen, and that's done automatically based on reading time for the words. So we basically have it on screen so that an average speed reader can read it about 2.5 times before it goes away. the more text means the longer it's on screen before it automatically removes itself. Okay?
Yep.
Okay. Good. Good. What else? You get all the features. We got the entrance and exit sound effects. I put those in yesterday. All of
nice.
these.
They really add.
Action bubbles was a request, but I don't think I'm going to do it. Coding Gorilla asked for it, I think, yesterday, and I'm going to say no to this for right now, just because I have to find more resources. I got to get the positioning right. I'm not going to do it now. Just it's a little bit too much feature bloat for me to do. With these issues, we haven't looked at these issues yet today. Let me see if I can create a couple test buttons for this. And what was the other one? It was the 2 dots.
3 dots, of course, is fine.
Are you duplicating the problem?
Yeah, it's exactly as you say. Exclamation point, too small. 2 dots, too small, and thus a bigger bubble than is necessary. But 3 dots is apparently fine.
All right, let's figure that out. I'm just creating some buttons for me here. Here, I can do this, get this up here so you can take a look at it. Just so I can quickly recreate the problem. I'm doing them so these are for Zephyr. Let's get set from file, since this is the thought bubble. Where are my bubbles? Oh, it's right here. Okay, there we go. Do the same thing for that. So I've got these, and then I want to do it for Zephyr. I want to test also for, I guess for Qt, because that's reversed the other way. I want to test for all of these here. And then I want to test for my character as well, because that's going to go. This is all Qt. 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 And these will be Merkin. All right, let's try them out. So Zephyr, yes, problematic. It's not too bad, but it's, you know, they're all bad. Did I miss? That one got switched to the other side, and so did that one. Well, they both work. I mean, that's really interesting. I wasn't expecting that to happen. Interesting. It must just be enough to push it off the other side. Okay. Well, at least that's good. So now let's figure out why that is like that.
I mean, I'm assuming this is built on the width of the measured width of the text given the font being perceived as too big to fit on one. So, well, actually, never mind. It's just a calculation. An exclamation mark should not produce a large width.
Yeah. So I think I've got a bug somewhere in my code. I'm going to add in here tasks. I'm going to add refactor the big method. Okay. The big method. Let's add refactoring on our list of things we want to do today. I think I'm going to delete this. I don't think I need this in here anymore. I feel like we got the alignment there. Okay, so we need some log messages is what we need. Get longest line width. I'm going to send the paragraph out. Is what I'm going to do. Like that. We'll send out the paragraph here. We'll look at it in the console. Hold on, I think I'm getting tired of the rain. We're gonna get some light snow in here. Okay. If that bugs you, Roy, let me know.
It's all good.
Let's see. All right, here we go. Yeah, I wanted the sample code right there is what I want. Okay, localhost there. And refresh and inspect. All right, where's my paragraph? There it is. Line data. The width is 45. That doesn't seem obnoxious. Okay, so what's going on? The problem feels like
significantly smaller than the actual width we're getting, though, isn't it?
Right. What's happening there? So what's my paragraph width then?
What about the scaling? Is it multiplying by some higher scale? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, that's only by 1.15. So there's my paragraph width. I think something's happened down here is what I think is happening, which is actually good news. I'd much rather the problem be here than in the engine. Let's do a refresh of this and send it out again. Paragraph width 66. That's pretty reasonable. What's happening? Horizontal scale. Let's throw that out. Refresh, refresh, go. Horizontal scale is 1/3.
Excuse me.
I want to make sure I see these. Yep, it's super long. I guess from yesterday is the aspect ratio calculation. Yeah, Coding Gorilla says that, and all I'm thinking is, oh man, that guy's paying attention way more than I am.
What kills me is, I mean, if it is something like that, that's going to affect way more things than just the 2 and 1 character strings.
Yeah, I don't know.
How do we, whatever it is, we've got to find a way of correcting it without breaking everything else, or at least justifying that the effect that the correction will have on everything else is so small we won't notice.
Yeah, I think the problem is like in this space right here. Otherwise, I could throw this, but I don't think that's my. I don't think it's my problem. I think we're going to see the line horizontal scale. Is what we're going to see. Yeah, I think the problem is here. Is what I think. I think the problem is that logic. Not sure how to fix it yet. Horizontal scale is 1.8. It's about 2. So we are coming down into space. Should this be times?
Well,
like here's why I justify it. I'm like,
okay, there you go. Bug gone.
It's kind of looking like it a little bit. Let's go test everything else out, right?
And of course, this only kicks in when the aspect ratio is already so small, or big, depending on how you look at it, that it will affect this.
Right, where it's looking more taller than
That's
wider.
right. And of course, that shouldn't happen in most cases, but with very small text, it will.
Yeah. I think that's the fix.
Yep.
All right, now, but if this is the case, though, we kind of need to move some stuff a little bit. Horizontal scale is equal to this, but I want to kind of also, I want to bump it up a little bit. I want to make it like a 1.2, like that. So I'm going to say it's that times that times that is what I'm going to do. Because I just want it to get a little bit bigger. I want it a little bit bigger.
Do we expect a similar problem with the other aspect ratio? Because we're doing a divide in there as well.
No, because the other one we're seeing all over the place. We're seeing examples of the other one everywhere else. Right? I think those are all not bad. Those are all those. Let's go look back at these. Yeah, now it's a little... What? Bug not fixed?
Bug still fixed? You're just looking at the stream, which hasn't refreshed.
You're right. I'm absolutely looking at the stream. The stream was overlaying it. You're exactly right. All right, let's do that. Let's refresh the stream. Double check all of that. Okay, here we go. Better. They're fitting better. Better. They're all good. Okay, thanks, Rory, again for that.
All good.
Yeah, there we go. It's working. It's good enough. It's good enough.
I think that one was Coding Gorilla, not me.
To ship. What was Coding Gorilla?
The suggestion of where to look, the aspect ratio.
No, it was. No, I totally recognize that. I appreciate that, Coding Gorilla. But I also appreciate you, Rory, because you just, I don't even remember what you just did, but you just saved me in some way. So.
Sure, okay.
Whoops, that's not what I wanted.
We can go with that.
All right, refactoring is, I think, our next task. I had a console log in here, I thought.
Awesome.
Okay, let me just document this. Our bugs, our issues are both fixed.
Did Mr. Announcer Guy just announce Jetsam but not get a fanfare?
That might be true. Yeah, we got top. I'm not going to do the bottom line space. I'm not going to do that. Jetsam, did you not get a fanfare? Our fanfare's broken. Did not get a fanfare.
See, at first I assumed that he had simply been in the chat before I arrived and thus nothing would have happened, but at that point he wouldn't have been announced by Mr. Announcer Guy, right?
Yeah, must be connected to at least one channel. Not sure what that is.
Oh, did he interrupt himself with he's awesome?
Coding Gorilla, Lightning, players. Nope, he did not. We would have seen it in here. Well, no active scene. Maybe? Yeah, I think he interrupted himself.
Awesomed his way out of having a fanfare.
All right. Well, you know what we say. If you miss it, you can always ask me to hit the button. There's Jetsam. Okay, so we're not going to figure out the bottom line space for bubbles. It's an edge case, and I think, going to involve a lot of code. So a lot of this, we're kind of budgeting our time, right? We're trying to figure out what can we get for the best bang for the buck. I think we're done. We're done. We just got to refactor. That's all we got to do.
Okay.
Let's go refactor that. Coding Gorilla's watched 125 shows. Oh. And I want to do, after I refactor, I want to look into redeeming channel points for this, because I want to be able to use channel points to bring this in. All right, so let's figure this out. These returns up here. This is the code right here. Hide any bubbles belonging to player ID. So I find out who it's going for, and then I just hide those. And that's just that simple thing. Don't need to do the
That's
queue.
nice. So you're not just hiding whatever happens to be up. It is only ones that will effectively overlap and be in the way because they're owned by the same player.
Right.
Very good. That means that somebody can put one up for Fred and 3 up for you. And Fred's doesn't hide. It still stays there because there's nothing conflicting with it.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Let me get rid of, let me do this. Cutie says, I think this might overlap Merkins thoughts. And then I'm going to, right next to it, do, I think this might overlap. Little cuties thoughts. Like that. And now if I hit them both at the same time, well, there's potential for overlap here between the two of us. Because hers go this way, mine go this way.
Why is hers so high up and to the left?
Because there's a lot of text in it, and because it's coming into the, it scales it, has to scale it.
Right.
But, you know, the amount of time, that, again, this is edge case. I think I'm not going to worry about it.
That's true.
So that's like the one situation I know of. I'm going to just delete all these. Don't need these anymore. Don't really need this anymore, I think. Maybe I'll keep it for a second here. All right. So we've got some initialization code that's kind of going on from here to here. I've got returns that are going to make this really hard to refactor. So I got to kind of take those returns out of here. I'm really looking for, let's see, I want to change this. If I make this a number like this, and I define it up above, right here, set it equal to 0, like that. Then I change this if it's greater than or equal to 0. It's got to be greater than 0, actually, to be honest. Come in here. Go all the way to here. Put that inside of the braces. And now, text to show is not being used. Speech type is not being used. So I got to turn these into lets. Declare these up above. I need a new enum variable here. All right. And we're going to come down here, change speech type to that. Then we have the space index. Then we get to the player ID. So it's not that I want space index, I want the player ID. Do the same thing here. Set that equal to null, or should I do that undefined? I guess. Here's my player ID. And then I want to refactor this. Extract that method. What's going on here? These are just the types it's showing, I guess, of these.
Yeah. Effectively, you've got multiple values coming back of what would otherwise be an anonymous type.
What's interesting is this seems really... Oh wait, these are the variables. Those are the types. Is what's happening.
Oh, right.
Text
so is this... Is it returning an anonymous type and then sort of... I forget what the correct phrase is, but effectively disassembling it back into just 3 separate variables.
Yeah. Looks like this doesn't need that there. All right. Here's my new method. We're going to say get speech parts, speech command parts. There's some freaky syntax. Yeah. I'm kind of with you.
I know there is a phrase, and I can't think of it. Maybe Coding Gorilla, you can remember, where you're taking out. Effectively, you assign an object to 3 different pieces, and it takes out the relevant bits.
Yeah, it's a little bit hard to read, right? It's like 1, 2, 3, and it's like, oh, this is that, this is this, and this is this. Okay, got it. Get speech command parts. So at this point, now I want to say, I think I want player ID equal. I'm thinking also about giving
assignment.
I'm thinking about giving abilities to be able to have these guys talk.
Oh, okay.
And if we do that, then we have to be able to support a player ID in negative numbers and in 0. So I guess I need to say, hey, are we equal to undefined and get out of here? I need something here. Let's do this. Let's make this number.minValue. All right. So now what we're going to do is say, hey, if player ID equals number.minValue, then return. Get out of there.
Yeah.
Okay. If speech type is equal to, or speech type is equal to speech type, whoops, speech type dot none, then we're out. Okay. Back inside there, we're going to get speech command parts. And we are initializing to none, so it's only if we see a colon in there that we get the other parts. Then we get this right here, player ID. Okay, so all of that should be okay. I wanted to just double check one more time that I get the min value initialization right there. I do. Okay, so next, hiding bubbles belonging to player. Good. Get player X and Y. And player is Dungeon Master. Maybe I don't want the player as Dungeon Master just yet. Let's do this. Put that there. And use it as a parameter instead. Try that. Get player XY. Okay. These going to be constants now. Yep. All right, so those are consts. Okay, good. So now we've got that. I'm okay with the syntax. I'm not bad. It's like at first I was like, wait, what? Now I'm like, all right. With 2 of these,
I think it gets messy
okay.
when there are too many.
Yeah. When there are 3, it's messy. But when there are 2, I'm okay with it. All right, next.
I think it's called destructured assignment, by the way.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Quick look up.
So these are a bunch of constants all the way down to here. And we're also playing a sound, which I think I want to move because that's kind of a different thing. So I'm going to copy this and just have the sounds here. Like that. Okay, then take the sounds out of here because everything else is about numbers and positioning. Okay, so now I'm going to take from here to here. What's going on with sprites? Anything in sprites in here? Doesn't look like it. Let's see how clean that is. Hit the refactor key. I thought I did. Nothing's coming up. Try again. Still nothing. Do I have a return in here? There it is right there. Just took a long time. What? Where's my refactoring? Is this it right here? That's a mess.
Wow.
Well, because I need all of those pieces is kind of what's happening here. I need them and I'm using them later. All right, let's do this. Let's get rid of this. We're going to call this play bubble entrance sound. We can move this out of here. Here's where I really want. Let's put this right up here. Speech type already determined? Yeah, it is. Okay. Okay. Maybe a longer. All right, let's just grab smaller pieces down here and refactor them, and then we might be able to get what we need. This right here is adjust opposing scale. And I think it might look better, maybe even to there. This will be get scale.
That sentence you were thinking of earlier, this is where I really want those wonderful arrows from extract method back in CodeRush Classic.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm with you on that. You know, I hate it when I invent something really cool and then something comes along to block that really cool thing and we have to revert back. It's like I like shake my head like this on a number of technologies that I've invented that have been dead and are and like even like I was talking to one of the teams at Microsoft the other day. They were showing me some stuff that was coming up, a new extensibility model for Visual Studio. And I was thinking about the CodeRush Classic extensibility model and how cool that was. And let's clear the snow off here. And how beautiful it was in a couple different ways. And like how easy it was to use, how it limited noise, how it showed you what was available. It was in some ways better than IntelliSense and super easy to discover how to extend the world. And I'm just thinking that was like a one-of-a-kind thing. Before that, I had extensibility for Delphi in CodeRush, which was also had cool aspects of its own. One of the cool things that it had was it had a similar architecture, but it also had the ability when you compiled to detect that you were compiling a plugin that was loaded in the environment, unloaded the plugin because the compile was happening, and as soon as the compile succeeded, it would reload the plugin. So it had
so nice.
Yeah, it had the fastest edit compile test cycle of any product I ever worked on. Right? I'd be testing right in the environment inside Delphi. I hit the build button and test again, and it would immediately be showing me the changes. So as soon as the build was done.
Yeah, because these days you do that sort of thing. You've got to launch an additional copy of Studio, which then loads the other piece that you've just adjusted.
Right. Yeah. No, there's a lot of.
You've got to come out and in and out and in.
Yeah, I've tried a couple times to convince people to do this. I did not with this team. I was like, I kept my mouth shut, but I was like this while I was, listening and talking to them, right? Because I was hearing what their goals were. Their goals were similar goals, discoverability. I'm like, oh, do I want to do this? It's like an hour of my time to make a compelling presentation, and I get nothing out of it, right? Really, it only makes it easier for competitors to come along and build plugins for Visual Studio. So ultimately, I didn't do anything on it, but yeah, I've seen this where I've invented things that are better ways of doing things, and then something comes along. And does it worse. I don't actually mind if somebody takes an idea and they do it as well or better, right? I actually like it when that happens in general. But when things go backwards and we have a regression and now I'm like, oh man, 10 years ago...
What you want is for the state of the art to be pushed forwards. Yeah,
Yeah,
with each step.
yeah, yeah.
Mark is the Betamax of development. Oh man, that's gotta hurt.
No, it doesn't hurt because nobody knows what that means. The young kids out there, they have no idea whether you insulted me or not. Yeah. Okay, so here's my get scale. That's looking, feeling better. Hey, check out who's here. Speaking of Betamax. Retro CRT is with us. How are you doing, Retro
Welcome,
CRT?
Retro CRT.
Welcome. Glad you're with us. We are in the middle of refactoring right now. Just trying to get a giant method smaller is what we're trying to do here. So that's what we're doing. Where are these declared up here, by the way? Wait. I think I don't need those there. I think I can simplify this by putting a let in front of these right here. Hold on. Let me undo the refactoring.
Yeah. See, this is the kind of thing where you'd have seen previously that those two variables were being hauled in, and you'd thought, I should move those down and include them in the extraction.
I know, Roy. Let's see. I think we're back. There's the scale. Yeah, I know. That's what we want right there. And there's my vertical scale. Oh, wow.
Jetsam got a fantastic idea for how to refactor this method. He says delete every other line. That will make your method smaller.
I can certainly delete all of these. Okay, so now let's grab all of that, all of that, all of that. Can we get that? Is that going to help us? Or is that going to be nasty? Nope, it's only returning right there, horizontal and vertical scale. Cool. So let's do that. That's what I'm looking for. Get scale.
Yep.
Should be a constant, it looks like. Good, that's better. Let's do this. Take this one out. We call this get paragraph size. I might refactor things like this to like a two-dimensional kind of thing. I like that the lender starts complaining while still inside the refactor preview before you've even made the code change. I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either. That is amazing.
Let's take a look at that. Let's see here. Flip horizontal text offset. You can move this closer where it's used. What's about scaled offset X? What's going on there? Same thing there. Sweet. Okay. This, what does this look like? Yeah, it's a lot of return, what's returned. So here's what we have to do instead. Instead of seeing the arrows, we got to look at what the call looks like. And it's kind of messy there. Green squiggles. We put those green squiggles under the let variable, probably wanting them to be const. Oh, I didn't see that. That's cool. Okay. Scale position offset X and Y. All right. Let's get that. Get scaled position offset. Like that. All right. This is going to be an inverted think bubble. Adjusted XY for inverted spot bubble. That. Better.
Yeah.
Let's extract this. This is going to be... What are we doing to flip vertically after this? Oh, we're passing it in, getting it back. Okay. So we're going to call this check for vertical flip. Maybe vertical flip if necessary.
Is it adjust for vertical flip? Because you're passing a value in, but you're getting it back out as well.
Well, hold on. Yeah, you're right. Let's get that, put that value inside. You flip vertically, or do we need that on the way out? You don't want to pass it in, is the problem. You know what, I'm going to have to, I don't really know of a way to refactor it other than to take this out. Or wait, I could do this. That's probably better. All right. So it still gave me a let at the beginning. This is not passing it in. And we're going to say check for vertical flip, or vertical flip if necessary. What do you want here? Const? Can I, how do I do that though?
That strikes me as something you can't, because the whole thing will be const, won't it?
And these are not consts here.
Yeah.
Can I do that? No. I don't think I can do, I don't think I got a way out of this. I don't think I'm a way out of it. That green squiggly line I think is going to stay there. Words, total reading time. So here we go. This is going to be get total reading time. And that's used for expiration date. Create bubble sprite like that. I'm going to take my X and Y and just move them close to each other like that. Okay. Vertical scale, horizontal scale, those are good. Flip vertically, it's going to be a Boolean. Why did you not know that was a Boolean? Flip vertically, where are you? Declared. I don't understand why this paren is here and this paren is here. See this, Rory? Take a look at this.
Let's see. Oh, I see. Right, the very much outer ones.
Yeah. I don't get that.
Yeah, I'm not so sure either. That seems strange. Oh, then that'll compile perfectly okay without it.
Well, I took them both out, and now we have this odd. I think I need to say like let. Yeah. I think it's not going to compile without it.
So apparently it does. It is necessary.
Yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around that. Is what I'm trying to do. Flip vertically. Well, I can certainly do this. Give it a Boolean there. That can help.
Is it not defined Boolean inside the method? Because that's really where the declaration comes from. No, inside the vertical flip, if necessary.
Yeah, it does. Oh, well, it infers it. So, yeah.
Yeah, should be fine.
Okay, so I'm going to, at this point, refresh and do another test. Like Got the bars still. There we go. Yeah, that all looks good. Okay, so that's good. We've got the, how well did we do? Not great. There's still some parts that are problematic. What do we got here? What's going on here? This is if we have to flip left, right. Okay, so we're going to do this. Let's extract this.
Ooh, that's a lot coming back out of that.
I don't like that.
So the only way I can think of maybe making some of this work is by declaring some actual types.
I know, I don't want to really go that far.
You know, if you're not going to reuse them in a bunch of places, then it feels like an extra level of unnecessary stuff.
What if I were to do this? How far? What does that get me? I'm hitting the refactor key, nothing's happening. It's like it doesn't want me to do that. If I take all of this. Yeah, I can take
now,
all
Mark,
of this.
You can't extract the entire method because that's just deferring the problem somewhere else.
Gosh. Don't say anything. I'm hitting the refactor key and nothing is coming up here. It must be that there's... I don't know what's going on. If it's just taking a while. Yeah, it just gives me declare local. Yeah. All right. And how bad was this up here? Yeah. This is the lint engine. Yeah.
I'm not sure there's a lot further you can go with that unless you do dive into types. At which point, maybe there's a bunch of them that could be points because they both have an X and a Y variation of themselves and a height and a width. You might be able to halve the number of variables by using pre-existing types that way, but it's quite a lot of rewriting at that point, quite a lot of risk for things going wrong.
You know, I'm feeling,
and it does work.
I'm feeling like there's a CodeRush feature request in here, which is extract method with a single class instead of multiple parameters.
Right, so take everything that's going in, present a list of them and go, which of these would you like to make a class out of and pass it in and get it back out that way?
Yeah. Or you know, options for both input and output, right? Or really just options for output, because in this case, it's this mess on the output that's not great. I'd much rather have that go into a single class, and then everywhere that variable was used later, have it reference the class dot width or dot.
That'd be pretty sweet.
Yeah, it would be much better than what we're currently dealing with, because we're dealing with this, which doesn't make the lines of code easier to read, right?
No.
This essentially begs, you know, the next thing, which is like, okay, now create a width height class of your own and return that instead. So we have to kind of manually do it. Same thing here with vertical scale and horizontal scale. Right? Same kind of thing. Exposition is never reassigned? Really? Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of at a point where I'm like, yeah, method is long, but I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do here to get these.
Well, arguably, you've already done one of the major things that refactoring is there for, which is add clarity. You can now look through this and you can see, well, here's a whole section which is just declaring some simple constants. So we don't need to worry about that unless that's where we know our problem is. And then you've got quite a number of points of entry into extracted pieces. So if there were a problem somewhere, or if you were looking to enhance functionality somewhere, it would be relatively easy to find the location now that you needed to adjust.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. It's not letting me take that out. When I say not letting me, let's not jump to extract method. Now here, how about is this? This is only returning a flip vertically. All right, that's getting a little bit better. What's this? I think we looked at this before. We had blocks in extracting this, right? It was nasty. I'm going to extract it. Check for horizontal flip. Like that. I'm ignoring all of these because I don't know how to fix these. These consts. I don't know how to do that. What am I going to do? Const there? Or am I going to do it here? Is that going to get rid of it? No, because it's got to be initialized on the same line.
Yeah, that's the trouble, isn't it? Because the presumption is you're not going to change it, but you need to change it to get its value there in the first place.
Yeah. And then back up here. Where's sprites used next? Sprites is down there. I see. Okay. I'm going to try this one too. How bad is that?
Speech data. Hang on.
It's crazy.
That's a lot more than just speech data.
But it's this one method where we passed in speech data. We'll call this get initial values.
Set up everything.
Set up initial values. It's a mess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You're perfectly fine with a long method.
It's not so much. Yeah, I was just looking at that, and it's like the assignment of the return values takes something like triple the calling of the method.
Yeah. Yeah, isn't that funny? So now say you think something is down to goes down to here. So from 197.
We have successfully swept all of the rubbish under the carpet.
Refactored, but you know what? To do.
Trouble is, there's now a big, huge lump in the carpet.
Shut up. Configure one more time to consolidate these long lists of return values into a class. That's really where we have to go.
Yeah, I think we have to accept that. Okay, we may not have got a perfect refactoring, but it is better than how it was. It is an improvement, and as such, it is good.
Well, I think it was an interesting attempt to go after this. But in general, I think things are looking pretty good. We've got a nice font. We've got nice positioning of what?
You were saying?
Something broke. These were not broken before.
It's the thinking that's broken, isn't it? The saying is fine.
Yeah. Really? All right, so let's do this. Let's undo.
Aww.
Not sure where we are. I'm just going to save it real quick. Do a refresh.
So where you delicately balance your redo stack, yeah?
It's better. Keep on doing. What's happening here? Yeah, I know. Are you?
Just.
I could have made a mistake in the reordering of the parameters, but I don't think I did at all. Let's save that. Let's refresh that. Boom, boom. What? Now we're showing up upright with no text? What a mess. Next time we do this in smaller pieces.
Yeah.
Save, refresh, cache.
Okay, that's better.
What has happened? Okay, hold on. Let's go just to double check. Let's. Okay, this looks all good. Dare we go forward or do we run away, Rory? I feel like I run away from this thing.
Part of me wants to just stay here, leave it alone, and run. The other part of me wants to redo the entire stack and capture what got refactored somehow.
Yeah, what was the problem? All right, let's do it. Let's go forward. We're going to go with the second part of you. That's what we're going to do. Let's see. Just scroll around to see where my... so it looks like we got to the point where we refactored out the play bubble entrance sound. So we got that out. Let's grab from here down to here and refactor that. This is going to be that initialize everything. Initialize all values or something like that. Initialize based on bubble type. Okay, that's what that does. Oops. This, I don't know what this is. One expanded region. I've seen this before and then it just stays there. Like, does anybody know what that is? Have you seen that before, Rory?
Is this?
I don't think this is Code Rush. It's Code Rush. Somebody added a feature that I don't know about. All right, so let's see what we got. That all looks good. And then ladies. Okay. Okay, there's some censoring definitely occurring. But that looks good. Okay, so that part, that change is good. Let's see what else we can do. Yeah, this I can't right click it. Like expand a region. I hit some hotkey. All right, I'm going to search for that thing.
That's weird.
One expanded region. What are you? Let's try in Visual Studio.
Maybe throw some quotes around the one expanded region. Oh, it's expanded, not expand.
What's going on? Code root. Let's make it code rush. What is that?
I'm not finding anything either.
All right. I've seen this before. Let's report this issue.
Well, it's interesting because it's a 252, 3, and 4, so there's no actual region there.
No.
As far as it's concerned.
There's nothing. Let's report the issue. All right, kids, look at this. I got this. I don't know what I did. I hit some stumbling of keys, like a control shift something, I think, by accident. And I saw this one expanded region. It stays in the code like this. I don't know what it is. It's really obnoxious, primarily because it's got this very bright border and these sharp corners that totally attract my eye right here, right? I can't get it off the screen. I don't know if it's CodeRush or Visual Studio. I just did a search for one expanded region in CodeRush, got like essentially nothing here. And I've also done the same with Visual Studio and expanded and put it in quotes like that. Yeah, and not getting anything here either. Nothing that seems to be the case. That's the problem. I bet if I close it though and reopen it, I can't reopen it here because I've closed it, right? I got to go find it here.
Isn't it in the recently opened files?
Where's that? Oh, right here.
Maybe. I've never had a lot of luck with it, but
yeah.
Theoretically.
Yeah, there it is, right there. And now it seems to be gone. But is that crazy or what? What is that thing?
253, wasn't it?
Okay, one expanded region. Is that us or not? That's my question for you guys. Okay, you think it was 253?
I think so.
Yeah. Nothing here now.
It does seem to be gone now.
Okay, so initialize based on bubble type. There's that. Okay. I think we did that and tested that one. This is check for flip horizontal right here. Check for horizontal flip. Let's refresh, let's save, refresh the cache, refresh. Okay, that looks good. Zephyrs, those look good. Good. And little cuties. Look good. Okay, so that refactoring worked. I wanted to go from here to here. Check for vertical flip. Like that. Save it. Refresh. So those are all examples of the vertical flip happening. Those are working. And these are all normal. Okay, that's still working. Sprite. So here we go, get reading time. This is going to be, I'm going to extract both of these. It's going to be create new sprite.
Unfortunately, Mark, I've just had a look at the time.
Hi, buddy.
And it's that magic number again.
No worries.
It's time for me to leave, but I will be back eventually. Tuesday is the plan.
Awesome contribution!
Well, thank you very much.
Level up.
All right, bud. I will catch you on Tuesday, yeah?
All right, we'll see you on Tuesday. Don't worry about us. We'll be fine. That's right, kids. I went to the Mark Miller School of Dancing. All right. Did we do a refresh on this and test those? I don't don't remember if we did or not. Let's just double check. A couple of these. Those look good. Good. That looks good. That looks good. Little cuties flipped. There we go. We got horizontal flipping, vertical flipping. All of that looks good. Taking this one step at a time. Shea bubbles seem broke from out here. What? What are you talking about? Uh-oh. Gotcha. I think it's a problem. Must be connected to at least one channel. I'm not sure what's going on here. I think this is connected to the problem, maybe. Let's shut this down. Let's reload. So we'll shut down the overlay. I'm going to shut this down as well. Let's restart both of those. 1, 2. Let's refresh the overlays. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like that. Get the music started again one more time. Music started. And let's refresh. Oh, I need to start up the D&D app. That's the last thing I need to do here. Yeah, that's pretty intense, that refactoring in JavaScript, isn't it? Let's see if that... see if we get the chat bubbles working up here again once this starts up. It might work right now. Yeah, let's try right now. I'm just going to type in what you put inputting. There you go. It looks a little tight, but I think it's because it just loaded the font. There you go. Do it again. There we go. That's what I need to do with that. We got multiple fanfares today. Whoa, whoa. Look out for that code, Coding Gorilla. Be careful with that code. All right. Good. I'm going to say the feature is done. You know, we've got a, what do I have like here? Do I have a compiles? Let's ship it. Oh, sorry. Sorry, Jetson.
Let's ship it!
Yeah, it compiles. Let's ship it. All right, there we go. Refactor the big method. We've done that. So we've done all of this. I'm going to call this feature done for the most part. I do want to, though, we actually have maybe a new problem. And the new problem is we need this to scale. We debuted this last night on the show, and it was very popular. Is an understatement. Pudding was there, Flave Creations was there, a couple other people, and bubbles were happening all over the place. So we kind of need to scale it. I don't know much about channel points, but I want to figure out how I can redeem channel points in code. That's what I'm thinking I want to look for. Redeem channel points, C#. Channel points, maybe? Thanks so much. Yeah, so I'm going to kind of keep an eye on this. We're looking for that, you know, channel kind of error message there. Twitch event sub or something like that related to channel points. That's what I'm looking for. Copperbeardy is in the house. you doing, Copper Beardy? Really? Reward, channel points. I don't really want to, so all of this is like, to be honest, I don't understand this at all. This pub sub, I don't understand how the API is used. I don't understand this. I am like pretty uninformed. What I'm hoping is I can maybe find this inside of the Twitch client using the current API that we're using. So I'm gonna close down the main window here. I will start it up separately so we still have control of Fred as its own separate app. While we kind of search through this and see if we can find this. Character settings something. On message received. Dungeon Master client. What do I have here? Yeah, I'm not seeing the events now. I'm wondering too if there's a new update that we don't have. It looks like there's not a new update. So I'm looking for, I think, Twitch, something that says Twitch lib and channel point redemption. So Zulik says, I believe it's PubSub model. So yeah, I saw a little bit about that in here with PubSub. Client established a secure WebSocket connection. So I see this and I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty much clueless. I've never done this before. I'm pretty stupid at this point. In fact, in case you didn't know it,
Disclaimer! Mark doesn't know God!
I was going to be quite that mean, but yeah, the Twitch ad point system, we make an API for this. I was asked about a year ago. It's this, at the same place we already were. On reward redeemed, on custom reward created, on custom reward updated, on leaderboard subs, on leaderboard bits event. So I added the following functionality. It says it's merged. Yeah, you connect to that URL via WebSocket, then subscribe to the events you want to listen to. Okay, so I kind of get that, Zulix, but again, I've never done it before, so I'm going to stumble into it because I've never done it before. Probably make mistakes. It says it's merged. What does this look like? Custom reward created. Updated. Event gift. Reward redeemed. That's what I'm looking for right in there. I haven't personally done it myself, so you're about the same place as I am. Well, I don't know, Zelix. You sound like you're way more chill than me. So, okay. All right, cool. I love this. I love this. How about the channel point API? It looks like it is there. Where's the event? On reward redeemed. TwitchLib pub sub. Events. Where is the hub though? Here it is. Twitch pub sub is the class. I've never worked with that. Let's see if we can figure it out. Do we see it here? Twitch pub sub. Is there anything out there? Am I missing a namespace? Okay. So let's see if we can find an example, C# example using this. C#, Twitch pub sub. No, I didn't mean that. Here's my example here. Nice. Nice. Okay, cool. All right, so let's look at this. This is way more exciting to me. Okay, so we're going to do, let's go find, we're declaring this guy right here. We're going to call this the DH pub sub, like that. I'm going to rename this to just DH here. All right, here's my DH client. And this we're going to say this is equal to Twitch pub sub. What do we got? Just a new one. Here's my new pub sub. Then we want to hook the events, right? Let's do this, I think maybe somewhere else. Let's go, I think we call this from the constructor. Here we are. So let's do this. Okay. I care about nice. Is there a redeemed? On reward redeemed. Listen to channel username, channel Twitch ID. I'm not sure what those are. The Twitch ID necessarily here. Do I need to send the topics I'm interested in? Or do I just, is it enough to just listen to the event? I don't really need either of those. I don't think I need either of these actually. Listen to rewards. Channel Twitch ID. Is there anything else in here called Twitch ID? No. My channel Twitch ID. I'm not sure what that is. All right, I'm kind of thinking I may have to work on this offline is what I'm thinking I'm going to have to do. Because I think we're looking at, you know, maybe opening up a secrets file and maybe doing a little bit more playing and research with it. But I think that we certainly are on the right track in terms of working on this. That's what I think. And I think I'm going to end the show. Is what I'm going to do. I'll learn more about this. We'll work on. Maybe work on this next week, but I'm moving towards a way to limit usage, such as a particular user can do it every 15 minutes, and a particular user can maybe do it if they redeem channel points for it, that sort of thing. That's kind of where I'm headed towards. I have a feeling I'll maybe work on this next week. We also have the fireballs I want to get back into as well. I think that's going to be it. Tomorrow I've got episode of Kids Code for Kid Friendly. We're working in Unity and C# tomorrow, and also on Saturday as well. Let's get a raid going, and we'll see you tomorrow or next Tuesday or Saturday or Sunday. We'll see you sometime in the future. We'll send you over to Vape Juice Jordan. Have a good day, everybody. See you, Jetsam. Bye, Pudding. Bye, Copper Beardy. Bye, Coding Gorilla.